Hi everyone and welcome back to the August WARNO Tournament. Today we have Meddi versus Silver Garou. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that slightly wrong. I tried to look it up. I think it's French. I think I'll call you Silver. Please don't be offended by that. It's just easier for me to say and less embarrassing for us both. So Meddi is on the left in blue, playing as the 3rd Armour Division, and Silver is on the right in red, playing as the 8th Infantry Division. Obviously Meddi we've seen in a few tournaments now, and he is gradually improving massively. Silver, I say, I don't know. I've actually watched this game through on the fastest speed just to see what happens, as I never like to cast someone new without having an idea of how they're going to play. So, well worth watching this game. There's some twists and turns. So, straight away we can see that Meddi is pushing the front line there with a Cobra and an Apache, just to take out any early forces that push out, such as Recon from Silver there. Perhaps if there were any forward deployable troops as well. Obviously 8th Infantry don't get those, but this is what the choppers are generally used for, and obviously the 3rd Armoured Division do have some very good choppers in the fact that they get the Apache and the Cobra. Obviously Pui Jaeger getting hit quite heavily by those Apaches, or that Apache I should say. The good spread of units for both players. Majority of forces, I think, heading towards Alpha, which is what we usually expect. 2 Alpha Jet HE bombers coming in. Going for the Apache, very good choice. Take out the chopper early. Was an Ihawk there as well. There are Stingers engaging those Alpha Jets though. And there are some anti-air cannons down here as well. Pivads, I assume. Yeah, Pivads there as well. I think... Oh, one of them got killed. Unlucky. I thought they were going to get out. An F4E anti-air jet coming in. Oh dear. Yeah, I was going to say the Alpha Jet is not going to fare very well against that. Lots of Ihawks there though. Can they get a good shot off? Oh, beautiful strike from the Ihawks. Just takes that little extra hit. Command in at the back points for Meddi, so +6 currently, but command on the way in for Silver, going to Hotel Foxtrot and either Alpha or Echo, I assume. Obviously trying to get a good foothold in Echo, Silver at the moment, but perhaps Meddi a slight advantage right now. Good use of the M150 with its tow launcher. I've seen this used more and more recently by various players. And there's a recon unit. It does have a tow launcher. What more could you want? Obviously the Bradley is still a very good unit as well. It just went up in price. Good spread of units across the top here for Silver. He's got some up at the top here as well, which is quite often something we see from the player that's on the right hand side, whereas Meddi focused on the back here. Silver getting some units around the back here, which I assume Meddi isn't aware of. My concern is that if he sends this Black Hawk back across here, obviously it's probably going to be spotted by Meddi, so he will know there's something there. That's always a bit of a challenge, because do you send it back to sell it, or do you just land it and accept that it's, you know, cost you that much to get the troops behind the lines if it hasn't been seen? Cobra coming in now may go hunting for those troops, but we're not sure. Meddi done a very good push down here with all those forces and has forced Silver out of the point. Silver redirecting this command up towards Echo right now rather than going for Alpha. A very good choice, obviously. Nice to see supply brought in straight away for the Ihawks here. Silver is obviously not that new a player. I has certainly been watching a lot of games. Plenty of supply coming in for Meddi as well. I'm just trying to get an idea of what he's bringing in. Lots of engineers at the top there. The odd unit coming in to consolidate the hold down here on Alpha. Points currently neutralized, interestingly enough. Not a focus on bringing in commands for either player, though command is about to go into Echo for Silver, which will mean a slight point advantage to him, but it'll take a little while to catch up to Meddi at just +2. Meddi being plenty aggressive now, pushing out from this point. Going with the old keep pushing till you meet resistance. And it's paying off. Few engineers coming in there. Not a huge amount of units though. I expect to see a bit of a rethink from Silver at this stage. Pivans. Arrow rifles coming in there. Remind me to keep an eye on those. Eyehawks. Plenty of air defense coming in for Silver. And he's got good positioning on them in the center there. I assume there's going to be one further down and one further up. Bradley at the back here. Another M150 here. These Jaeger Aufkul haven't been bothered at all. They're just kind of sat there. But admittedly, you know, Meddi doesn't need to go that way. Now this thing doesn't have... Oh, it does have a recoilless rifle. I was going to say, I couldn't remember what weapons it had, but it does have a recoilless rifle, so it can easily kill a command vehicle. Chopper coming in there. Engineers Dragon, Engineers Flash. Here go those arrow rifles. Pushing around the top. I assume this is going to be an attempt to take out this CV. I will note that, obviously, the game was kind of given away by the chopper going back, I assume. I don't know if Meddi had seen that chopper dropping off these arrow rifles beforehand, but obviously there are 2 engineer squads and a mega rifle squad there ready to engage. Although, that said, if Silver can get in here and destroy these vehicles before Meddi realizes and deploys those troops, technically he'll still have the advantage. Commander coming in here to neutralize Echo. Cobra being used here on the front line against these forces. The Pivads are moving up now, though. We'll be aiming to engage, but... Oh, 2 jets coming in. AA here was going after that Fighting Falcon there. Is taking a lot of fire from the Eyehawks. It'll be lucky to get out, but it might vanish before it gets to the front line again. Are these things going to fire? Yes, they will. Oh, and it is a loss. I thought it might just have got the evac in time, but it didn't. Arrow rifles did bump into those engineers in time and did kill one squad while it was still in the vehicle. They still haven't been deployed because Meddi's concentrating elsewhere. Good little bit of movement down here from Meddi. He's got units really far up. Obviously, there's all of these infantry at the back here. So Silver not in the worst position if he can get into these trees. Not much of a change in points either at the moment. There's a command infantry coming in now, which will be going to Alpha, I assume. Arrow rifles dropped off around the back, but I assume Silver knows they're there. I'm not 100%. These arrow rifles still not on the move. Engineers and mech rifles still in their vehicles. I don't think Meddi has realised that one of them was killed. It can be a lot to deal with the back line when you're already dealing with the front line as well, and there's obviously a lot of fighting going on down here at the moment. These mech rifles getting ripped apart by all these squads here. Cobra getting engaged by those stingers. Managed to dodge one with its spinning tactic. We've seen this in a few games recently. When these things start spinning out of control, everything seems to miss them. It did get hit finally there. Bradley engaging reinforcements coming in there. Another Cobra being called in. Scout obviously engaging with these arrow rifles here, so Silver does know there's stuff there. Cobra being pulled back here. I'm not sure if that's... No, it's fully rearmed, so I'm not sure where that's going. Possibly around the top? Thought it might be coming to try and kill these guys, but I think Meddi still hasn't realised they're there and that he's lost something there. Oh, I tell you what, Meddi has got himself in a nice position here. He's just taking out stuff that's coming down that road and this road, reinforcements-wise. Again, as I say, a change in tactic again for Silver. He was bringing stuff into here, but will now have to bring it in further back. These units are pushing forward, though. They're not doing a terrible job. And, you know, if you look here, there isn't actually a lot that's going to kill the infantry coming in. There's the engineer squad here, and there's some scouts, but... he's not in too bad a position. How many I mean, the only issue is they're kind of small squads. But yeah, look at that. Flash doing a lot of damage to those guys. Lack of supportive tanks here, I think, perhaps, for Meddi. Just in terms of being able to put down some additional cover fire against infantry coming in. May have been helpful. May not have been. Napalm coming in. Very good choice. If it gets a good strike. Napalm has seen a significant buff over the patches. Much better than it was originally. Another jet being taken out there. I'm not sure who that belonged to. Our rifles coming in there from Silver. Plenty of infantry here for Silver as well. I assume planning to push over this way and clean up this lot. Single Engineer's Dragon Squad still surviving that, but he is a bit surrounded now. Not much progress from either player at the top. Kind of a bit stalemated. These Engineers and mech rifles are now out of the vehicles, and they have engaged those air rifles. Air rifles are currently routed and retreating. Abrams coming in there for Meddi. I do notice, actually, Meddi's playing as the third armoured, obviously, but I'm not seeing many tanks in the field. I think that's the first Abrams I've seen from Meddi in this game. Obviously hasn't felt the need for them. They are certainly not the be-all and end-all of the third armoured. They are just a significant advantage to their arsenal. And interestingly enough, the 8th Infantry also gets some decent tanks, but we're not really seeing many tanks from Silver either. The focus is more on infantry at the moment for both players. But that Abrams is finally at the front line. Scout coming in here for Silver. Currently +5 to Meddi, obviously, which is a significant advantage due to the loss of the command vehicle in Foxtrot. I think that must have been hit by a plane. I didn't see any infantry go in there, but I could have been concentrating on another part of the map and it just slipped my mind. Silver with the arrow rifles right around the back of this side. No defences in there, obviously. Has that been seen? I'm not entirely sure. Could certainly go for heading in Bravo with a squad of infantry. He's going to have a bit of a run, though. Scout getting torn apart, unfortunately, by the machine gun on that vehicle. A few tow Cobras coming in there, and another Scout, and a command coming in again for Foxtrot to try and reduce the points income for Meddi. At least that will drop it back down to 2. Oh, he's getting the air rifles pretty close. Unfortunately, if he gets... That's unfortunate timing for Silver, to be honest. Obviously, he can't see what we can see, but he's just managed to go up there at the time that a lot of reinforcements are coming in. And if Meddi spots that, he'll just deploy those troops. Yeah, there's a Pivads there as well, which will immediately engage. I'm not sure if he'll get those forces out in time. Has Meddi possibly spotted that, I think, because I noticed these troops have pulled off into a defensive position. It could be also that he called those in those positions because he knew the chopper was coming, rather than it just be an immediate thing. Our rifles have landed, though, so he could go for the kill here. The Pivads have engaged, but I'm not seeing any sort of direct control of these troops telling them to get out of the vehicles. Meddi obviously busy elsewhere. He's still pushing units up here, for example. 2 Cobras here. 2 Cobras. He's got 4 Cobras in now. Unfortunately, he's getting engaged by that Stinger. Our rifles here getting engaged by a Bradley and a Pivads that are still coming down the road. Unfortunate for Silver there. He has lost those. I think he was in with a good chance of killing that CV. So right now, neither player really with any forces behind anymore. Attempts by both players to get those arrow rifles round. And now we see that I think Silver's in a better position than he was, definitely. He's got this pushback going on. He's making really good use of the Cobras. A little bit low on ammo in some of those Cobras. He could really do with a supply. pulling these up now. He could be going to that supply there. He does have two. Yeah, he's got two supply there and another Cobra. Cobra's just been resupplied, so he's sending those up there. Fantastic. Not that I am voting against Meddi in any way, shape, or form here. But I am pleased to see a fight back from Silver. Because I know it can be very easy to feel extremely defeated when you get pushed that far back. But Silver is giving it one hell of a fight. And is managing to clear up some of Meddi's forces in this situation. He's got a good defensive line going on here as well, as does Meddi. Not much pushing going on. There's another M1A1 Abrams there. I do wonder, did he lose the original one? There is a dead tank there, so I assume he lost the original one he sent there. Perhaps to these TOW 2s that are down here. Has fired a couple of missiles. And there's a Bradley up there as well. That has fired also a couple of TOW 2 missiles. All those Cobras getting rearmed now. A little bit of a push out here. Bradley in a nice position. Dragons, or the Engineer Dragons, getting in a good position as well. And realistically right now, Meddi doesn't have a huge amount left in this point. He sent a lot forward and sort of spread his forces out quite a bit, which is always a risk. It projects you forward, it lets you cover more of the map, make you more of a threat to reinforcements coming in, but obviously it means you've got less focused in one area defending. And that is what Meddi has got himself into now. It's always the risk you take. Engineer's Dragon pushing up. I think he's going to get back in this tree line easily now. Some mech rifles coming in up there. Ihawk still engaging. Ihawk is being engaged by those mech rifles though. Oh, that is a very dead Ihawk. Unlucky. Ihawk has been doing an outstanding job this game. There was another Ihawk here as well earlier in the game that's also been killed, I assume, by those mech rifles. Could have been something else as well, but yeah, it's an unfortunate loss. They were doing a really good job in the positions they were in. Really impressed with that positioning, actually. I'll have to remember that for future games, that just in the middle there has a good coverage of things coming over Alpha and Echo. Unless, of course, they come right round the bottom. Or indeed the top. Loads of engineers. Engineers flash coming in there. Mech rifles, more supply. Cannon Jagdpanzer. Hearing some explosions going on. These engineers dragons are right in here now and have cleared out. Oh, destruction of some reinforcements or something there. Silver with those Jaeger Aufkel in that little sneaky position they've been in the entire game. Have paid off and killed something. May have killed something before that I just didn't spot. Army of Cobras coming back now. This is a really good shout by Silver. Obviously, in a very pushed back position, has managed to push back in to Alpha with the use of the Cobras and just infantry for the most part. The Bradley's been doing a good job as well, but hasn't been relying on bringing in big heavy tanks. Obviously, one of the strengths of the 8th is its infantry force. A couple of Abrams up here now. I think Meddi's wanting to try and do some kind of push up here for the amount of forces he's brought in, perhaps. There's a napalm bomber coming in as well, which is going for... Oh, it went for the mech rifles up here. Sometimes when you're zoomed out, it really looks like they're going for a completely different place, the bombers. Did that get out or did it die? I think it possibly died off screen. But that was absolutely... But this has been an absolutely fantastic game in terms of a real turnaround for Silver. As I say, I don't really know them as a player, but I'm really impressed with the turnaround down here. Lots of engineers managing to get into the town now as well. Engineers dragons here. TOW Cobras still in play, still with some rockets left. There is that little push going on here, definitely from Meddi. I do see various reinforcements heading that way to reinforce that defensive line for Silver, while also managing to bring forces in to concentrate on Alpha as well. Though we do see plenty of reinforcements also heading in here for Meddi now. Meddi reinforcing that position. Look at these two Cobras and the fantastic job that they are doing. Look at the amount of damage they're outputting. Choppers are amazing in these games, and it's why there's always been this thing in Wargame, in particular Red Dragon, where, you know, you're not supposed to heal or rush at the start of a match. It's less of an issue to some extent here because you can't kill the command CV at the entry point, but it's still a big issue because choppers are just that powerful sometimes. They dish out a lot of damage and can easily, you know, overwhelm early air defense when you've only got a couple on the field, because they tend to stun lock things. Even big tanks that these choppers can stun lock with their rockets. Fortunately, there is a reasonable amount of air defense in this bottom point for Meddi, so he has managed to fight off some of those tow cobras. Others going back for repair and rearm. Again, really liking this rearm and supply point that Silver has going on in the middle of the map. Allows him to swing back and forth between those 2 points if necessary. But look at this fantastic push that Silver has managed to get going. And he is in the point, he has lost units, he's not got as many in there. There is a lot in there for Meddi defending, let's be honest. But, you know, realistically, there's a bit of a balance going on here, because Silver's managed to kill a lot of Meddi's stuff, Meddi's managed to kill a lot of Silver's stuff. When this game started and Meddi managed to push out quite hard, it was sort of in my head that maybe there was going to be a big disparity. And I'm glad I watched it through first, because this was the big turnaround. This was the fight back from Silver, which I thought was just a really good fight back. He completely changed his strategy, bringing out those choppers to aid his forces. You know, there wasn't just a keep sending units in. He pulled in units further back and then gradually moved them forward. And that's what you need to do in that situation. And it was really well played by Silver. But obviously Meddi having the upper hand of securing that point early, and then managing to now reinforce that point, is now bringing in some of his Abrams as well, more so than the start of the game. But look at this, Silver is managing to hold this top point still, while also doing some kind of push at the bottom. It's unfortunately not been the most successful push, because Meddi was already well entrenched. And that's just, you know, one of these things. If you're attacking or pushing in Warno or Wargame, you tend to be in a detrimental position. It's not an easy thing to do. So Silver deserves, you know, a massive pat on the back for managing to achieve that while also holding and defending the top point in the way he has. Lots more reinforcements still coming in for Meddi at both points. And the same for Silver. Silver bringing in an Abrams at the top there. More engineers coming in at the bottom here. Stingers as well coming in here, because obviously he's been dealing with a chopper from the side of Meddi. Bringing it in nice and close to try and hit that chopper. Unfortunately, they are in a bit of an open position there. Seed coming in here. I assume wanting to, yeah, going for the Cobra. I was going to say, I haven't seen any sort of Seed attackable anti-air for a while, but obviously really wants to kill that Cobra. Has done a lot of damage to one of them. Other one is intact, but oh, Stinger got a shot on that one and finished it off. This one, oh no, I take that back. Stinger got a shot on that one and has now killed it. But the blast from the missile finished off the other one. Obviously, these missiles have a bit of a blast radius, so if choppers are close together, multiple will get damaged at one go. That was actually the same in Wargame Red Dragon as well, I believe. So there was always a reasoning to spreading your helicopters out where possible due to the blast radius, which was obviously a big deal. Could be a points victory for Meddi here, but that is a heck of a fight back from Silver. I'm expecting a reasonably tight spread on the kills to losses at the end of this game, because Silver has done a really good job of pushing back. Napalm coming in again for Meddi there, obviously going to be hitting this forest once more. This forest has seen a lot of napalm. Really nice strike, killed that squad. But Silver done a fantastic job at holding here, has managed to kill a lot of the attacking force from Meddi there, has managed to kill some expensive tanks, and is managing to do a really good job here as well. But Meddi, equally fantastic job at holding. It's been fantastic seeing Meddi improve since they first started playing this game, actually. And as I say in many of these games, it's one of the wonderful things about watching these tournaments is you get to see people come in at a lower level and then improve massively really quickly. This is a really good fight between these two players, and as I say, I haven't really seen Silver play before. So I'm very impressed. I don't know what sort of level Silver is coming in from, what games Silver has played before, but certainly holding their own in this matchup massively. But I'm afraid it is going to be a points victory for Meddi in just a few seconds now. But really enjoying this resupply point here. It's nice to see someone utilising supply trucks in that way for rearming and repairing the Cobras, or attack choppers in general. Really good game, guys. Really enjoyed that one. I mean, you know, that's very close. I mean, there was less than 1,000 kills in it in terms of kills to losses there. That was a heck of a pushback from Silver. I mean, an applaud to you for that amazing pushback. Meddi, fantastic game. Again, really well played. Loved the very aggressive push at the start till you met resistance, and then the sneaky trying to get around the back, cutting off those resupply lines. That was really well done, and you did manage to kill a lot doing that. Commiseration, Silver. Looking forward to the second game tomorrow, but that was a really enjoyable game. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow for the second game.